Lord LGA inside Lebialem country. The mothers come, watch and see, sleep, not be die. Like that. Okay.
Fellow Ambazonians, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon to all of you watching right here on ABS TV. You're welcome to another episode of The War Zone, and it's a pleasure having you with me today. As you very well know, there is a lot to unpack on this show today. This show today, Tuesday, September the 5th, 2023. It's a good day to be alive. It's a good day to be an Ambazonian. And I'm sure you are all as proud and pumped up as I am. But before we go on with this show, ladies and gentlemen, I would like for you to do me a favor. Do me a favor and share the link. Share the link and get as many Ambazonians watching today. We have some really exciting news to share with you. So please do me a favor and share the link. Share the link. Share the link. I have a very powerful panel that will be joining me today to discuss the various developments affecting our struggle for the liberation of the Southern Cameroons or the actualization of our independence. It's again a pleasure to have you here with me today. So please, as our ARFs would like to say, shake, shake, inode. Shake, shake, inode. We have said it severally that La Republique will either have to let Ambazonia go or Ambazonia will bring La Republique down. And that is exactly what is going to happen. And you can take that to the bank, ladies and gentlemen. Ambazonia will be free or La Republique will be destroyed. It's up to them to make up their minds. We are determined. For those who have listened to all the noise from La Republique and with them claiming that the struggle is over, that the struggle is over. Oh, the struggle is over. Everything is back to normal. I want you to carry this message to those La Republique of Cameroon enablers. This struggle is not over, and this struggle will not be over until Ambazonia is free. The struggle is not over. It will not be over until Ambazonia is free. That is the way it's going to be. And they can take it or leave it, but that is the way it's going to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad to have you here with me again today. Please share the link. I want to see the numbers climbing. This information we have to unpack here today. You just saw the highlight of the show with a short video that you saw at the beginning of the show. We have all the details about what happened in Lebialem today. We have not just the information, not just those who are affected, we have the pictures to share with you. And I'd like for you to get as many people watching as much as possible. Unfortunately, that is what La Republique wants to see before they can decide to let us go. Like the Egyptians, who did not want to leave the Israelites to go free until they had suffered punishment. If that is what La Republique wants to see, then that is exactly what they're going to get. That is what they are going to get. But at the end of the day, Ambazonia will be free. And you can take that to the bank. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I'm glad to have you here with me today. I have VP Jenny himself will be joining me here today. SOS Frank, who is the Chief of Defense of this interim government, will be joining me. I have Honorable Sama Thomas, who will be joining me. And of course, a very critical analyst, Comrade Mark, will be joining me here today. I have a panel of four very knowledgeable individuals who will be joining me to break it down so you can take the information as accurately as possible with regards to the happenings today. So without any waste of time, I would like to bring in my panel. If If VIP engineer is there, please, can I see your VIP engineer? I don't know what is wrong with your audio, VIP engineer. Can you check your audio? I can't hear you. I can't hear you still. Not yet. If it's not coming on, I would say just sign off and sign back on while I bring in the rest of the panel. VIP engineer, just sign off and sign back on. And before I bring in my panel, first of all, let me take this moment and greet our ARFs from the northern zone to the southern zone, from Cambe right down to the shores of Victoria, from the forests of Ejagam to Kupe Maninkuba, from Womb to Cambe, from the plains to Womb. So I'm saying hello to you. Meme, you are not forgotten. Every corner of Ambazinia where we have our ARFs, we send you salutations. We tell you to stand strong. The land of Ambazinia belongs to you, and it is your responsibility to take it. It is yours. The resources underneath our soil belong to you. So it is your responsibility to fight and take those resources back from these invaders who have been taking advantage of us for so many years now. So, with that said, SOS Frank, I don't know if you're in. If you're in, please let me see you. SOS Frank, are you there? SOS Frank, okay. All right,
Yes,
I
Chairman
think
Mike, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, greetings to you, greetings, fellow Amazonians, greetings to all our tele viewers. It is my pleasure to be here. I'm so sorry. Today I am trying to come to you using my phone due to unforeseen circumstances that have kept me outside until now. I am not at home, but we are at war and we have to do just the needful. So I am glad to be here and. I see the VP. Hello, Mr. VP. It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, SOS Frank. Nice to have you here. And Virginia, you must be in now. Let's try your audio now and see if everything is okay.
Yeah, Comrade Mike, I hope all is okay now.
All is okay. 5 on 5.
Oh, glad. Thanks. I'm grateful. And thanks for granting me the opportunity to be here in this special edition of this program today at ABS. My special greetings to SOS, Frank, Honorable Thomas, and Comrade Mark, and all who are making up this great panel today. Special greetings to Amazonians wherever they are, our patriotic restoration fighters, and the great work they are doing. You know, there's a lot of what we just saw in the Lebialem County. It's a spark of the firepower activated that has been keeping the flag of this revolution moving on. And like you said already in the beginning, Ireland and Republic quickly help themselves to liberate us to go because we are bound to go. Or we will bring them down to go because even when we bring them down, we are going to go. So there is no way, no two way about our victory, about our freedom. We are here for that. And as we deliberate, I believe that as we share the link more and more, we will not regret that we are connected and the fire will be kindled more and more. Thank you again. God bless every one of us connected.
Thank you, VP. Thank you for being here. Your opinions about these developments will be very much appreciated. And Honorable Sama Thomas, I'm sure is in. Honorable Sama Thomas, can I see you? Honorable Sama Thomas, okay.
Okay. Good afternoon, Comrade Mark. I want to greet a special greetings to VP Ginny and SOS Frank. I don't know if Comrade Mark is in yet. I want to say it's a pleasure for me to be with you people to learn from you guys to see if I can shape my opinion to look like those of yours. But most importantly, let me say congrats to the guys who are fighting on the ground for the freedom of the Southern Cameroons. Kudos to you all. La Republic thought, like they are saying every day, that they are on a reconstruction phase in the Southern Cameroons for the past 2 years or 5 years. They are reconstructing. I wonder what they are reconstructing, but they will reconstruct till their kingdom come, and nothing will be reconstructed.
Yes, Honorable Sama Thomas, talking about reconstruction, these are people who don't know how to construct anything. They don't know how to construct anything. Talk about construction. I'm sure you have seen their bridge of Bonaberry across the Bonaberry Bridge or something. That is a swimming pool. A swimming pool. When it rains, and that is how they want to come and build Ambazonia. No, hell no. We don't want your construction. We will build Ambazonia the way Ambazonia ought to be built. We don't want your poor construction management and everything that you have there brought to Ambazonia. We are sick and tired of it. We have cut links with you, and we will do it ourselves. I don't know if Comrade Mark is in. If Comrade Mark is in, I would like to see you. If not, we can indicate, the studio can indicate when he comes on, so we can welcome him and bring him on to take part in the discussions. Without much time to waste, we have a lot to discuss today. Let's move on to the first item. And first of all, fellow viewers, the highlights of what happened in Lebialem are coming up very soon, very soon. But we want to get some tidbits in preparation for that juicy piece of information. If you can just continue sharing and invite us as many Ambazonians to watch with us, that would be great. So, but first of all, I have this information about the rally that is being planned for Washington, D.C. on October 1st. For October 1st rally right here in Washington, D.C. You see, the thing is this. We have tended recently to leave all the fighting to ground zero. And I think that is wrong. We have to get back out there and take our struggle to all the four corners of the earth. We have to be out there and be visible, demonstrating that we mean what we say when we say we want to see Ambazonia free. It cannot be left to ground zero alone. No longer left to ground zero. We must be out there. So if you are an Ambazonian, a proud Ambazonian, and you are proud of what our ARFs are doing on the ground in defense of our territory, you owe them that responsibility to take yourself to Washington, D.C. Come October 1st, the day of our independence. Let us come together and celebrate our independence in grand style. Washington, D.C. The venue for the event has already been secured. The permit from the United States government has already been obtained. All we have to do is show up and be part of that festive activity, celebration of our independence. October 1st, all roads lead to Washington, D.C. Wherever you are, you can travel from Europe and be part of it, or you can organize your own event in Europe, wherever you are. We want to see Ambazonians out in their colors, with your flags, with all of your colors, wear your t-shirts, whatever you have, mufflers, your hats, your caps, whatever you want to wear. Use whatever means possible to celebrate our independence. Nobody would do it for us but us. Nobody would do it for us but us. I know that the last time we were in Washington, D.C. to challenge Mr. Paul Biya, some people said it was too cold. Some people said it was too cool and they hid under their beds. But October 1st is not that cold, so I hope they will not give that excuse again. So I would like to give each of you just 1 minute, please, just 1 minute to make a comment about the importance of us coming out to celebrate our independence. Why don't you go first, VP Engineer?
Yeah, the call cannot be overemphasized. I think it's a pertinent call to every true patriotic Ambazonian wherever they are, whether back home or in the diaspora. Like Comrade Chris has mentioned repeatedly, challenging us to understand that we have two fronts for this struggle, two fronts for the struggle for our freedom as Ambazonians, the home front and the diaspora front. We are so glad that the ARF have sustained the home front by activating the firepower despite the lies and the conspiracies of La Republique to paint a different picture to the international community. And at the moment, while we are moving forward and not looking back, the challenge, like you call already, the rally coming up on October 1st in Washington, D.C., the call is not only for those who are able to be there, but the challenge is that as many as we are able at different ends of the world, even those in Europe who cannot travel and other parts of the world, in the Southern Africa, in different parts, like in Canada, people should gather in their numbers or in whatever capacity can gather and in the Ambazonia colors to paint the picture to the world that we are up and doing, we are thriving, and there is no retreating, there is no surrendering, until we reach Buya. So it's a pertinent call, and I just add my voice to that of the panel to say, let Ambazonians wake up. It is time. Our freedom is nearer than we had first thought. It's true. When we thought the way we thought in the beginning, we thought it was just a day. We are now in the 70th year. Who knows? This is the complete year or the fullness of it. And we need to maximize and amplify the effort together. Thank you.
Thank you, Vip and Jenny. Thank you for those comments. I would like to pass the microphone to as Frank. What is your take on the importance of us coming out, especially, I mean, those of us in the diaspora, of course, coming together and joining hands with a ground zero to celebrate October 1st? As of Frank, I don't know if he's there, but if not, I will Samathamas.
Yeah, thank you, Comrade Mike. It is said that when you cannot celebrate your birthday, who do you expect to celebrate it for you? So only Southern Cameroonians will celebrate their Independence Day and not any other person. What can you say, or what can I say, that when I was back home, every 1st October, we were running hectare skater with the occupational system, forcing ourselves to celebrate 1st October while they were refusing us from celebrating it. Now that you and I are in a free space, that no one will be chasing after you from celebrating 1st October, what will be your excuse to give if you cannot celebrate it? Oh, have you forgotten the importance of 1st October because you are now in Europe or in the United States of America? If that is your thought, then just know that you are enjoying what is in America because some people fought for it, and they are celebrating the day that they liberated themselves as an independent day. Nobody needs to remind an American. I don't know if you guys call it 4th of July or 4th what, I don't know, which is the Independence Day of the United States. People celebrate it with pomp and gaiety in them. What about you? We are going to do same in the West. I will do same. On behalf of those who are back home who cannot celebrate 1st October, I will do it on their behalf. What about you? I hope you are going to join me celebrate it all the same on behalf of everybody that is back home. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I don't think we can overstate the importance of doing it because, especially those of us in the diaspora, as you've rightly said, because the only reason we are out here is because someone sacrificed to make these places where we are what they are. Someone sacrificed, especially when you think of the United States of America that had to fight. to free itself from the British Empire that had colonized the USA. So they fought to free themselves. And you can name any other place here on earth where people live freely. They fought for it. And it is our turn to do the same for our own homeland and our own people. Um, I don't know if Chairman Frank, I mean, SOS Frank is in now. If he's in, I would like to take his own word on this before we transition to the breaking news. The breaking news that is coming in from Lebialem County. Lebialem. Okay, Comrade Mark is in. Comrade Mark, thank you for coming on today. Since you're already in, can you just give us your own take on the importance of Ambazonians coming together on October 1st to celebrate our independence? Because if we have to actualize it, we have to be the first to show the world that we mean what we're saying. Over to you.
Good evening, fellow Ambazonians. Good evening, Comrade Mike, Honorable Sama, Chairman Frank, and VP Ginny. Good evening to all of you, and it's a pleasure for me to join in this panel. Fellow Ambazonians, make no mistake, the occupying force is trying to make us believe that celebrating our Independence Day is a mockery to those back home. Gone are the days where when we gather together and we eat and share a bottle of drink, they will tell us that our fellow mates are back home suffering and look at us in the diaspora suffering. No, don't take it that way. You should be proud of who you are. You should be proud of 1st of October. So I encourage everyone, as Honorable Sama has said, to go out and celebrate. Those back home are not celebrating because they have been occupied. Some of them are not celebrating because of security reasons. But we are in a free world. So I see no need why we should not go out and celebrate. We should go out and we should celebrate. Gone are the days where we go, we wait for WhatsApp messages, and we are like, what is going on in ground zero? Let's look at what is happening through the various Amazonian camps of our fighters, of our great fighters. Gone are those days. Now we have to show them that we can fight for them also, that we remember the day 1st of October. So I encourage everybody who is closer to DC to be at DC. But even if you are not closer to DC, you can celebrate in groups of 2, 3, 4, 5, as Comrade Chris, our president, have said that we can celebrate in groups of 5, take photos. But when celebrating, make sure that we come out with something substantial for our fighters back home. So for us here in the Pennsylvania region, we're planning that even if we are celebrating and coming together, we can come out with some little contribution or anything that is significant for our fighters back home. So I will encourage everybody to celebrate. I am a proud Ambazonian. If you are not a proud Ambazonian, I don't know about you. And that I will go with this idea of independence to my grave, and it's in the gene of every person I know. So I don't know about you. So I will celebrate, and I will continue celebrating until I go to my grave. So if you are not proud of your heritage and you are in someone else's country, and every day you are saying 4th of July, 4th of July, waving American flags, where are you coming from? So I want us to have that in mind, that we can also celebrate, and we should also be proud of where we are coming from. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you for adding all those details there, Comrade Mark. As you have rightly said, when we celebrate, we have to add some meaning to that celebration. We have to add some meaning to celebration by making sure that we do something that will impact Ground Zero positively, putting something in their hands to continue encouraging them to keep doing what we're seeing today. Give them the tools they need to continue pushing the fight towards victory. And again, like you rightly said, if we do not value ourselves, then who do we expect to value us? You have to, first of all, be proud of yourself. You see, Let me tell you something. When you are out of the United States of America, and people who Americans tell you about their country, you will imagine it to be a heaven. I'm not saying America is not great, but it is not exactly what you think it is when you are not yet in the USA. Because when you get to the USA, you see things that you never believed you could see. And they do so because they're proud of their country. They say, land of the free, home of the brave. They say all great things about themselves. You have to value yourself so that others can can consider you to be an important person. So we have to be able to value ourselves. And the way we do it is by talking big about ourselves, celebrating our own independence, being proud of who we are. And that is why we're calling on you to show up on October 1st so that we make Amazonia proud. Now, without any further waste of time, we will go to the main news of today, which is a breaking story coming out of Lebialem County. For quite some time now, fellow Amazonians, since the demise of FMA the King, a lot of people have wondered if Lebialem will ever be what it once was again. People have wondered, people have complained, people have even thrown insults. But the events that are unfolding in Lebialem today are once more telling us that Lebialem is very much still a potent environment, is still a graveyard for La Republique du Cameroon invading soldiers. What we are getting from Lebialem is that a large number of La Republique du Cameroon military have been decimated, and you will see the pictures yourself. When you see the pictures, there will be no doubt in your mind as to this gravity of what just occurred in Lebialem. That the number of persons killed is large, and that this number also includes the colonial DO for Fontaine Central, that he may be one of the casualties in this incident. And we are told, or information reaching us indicates that there have been two helicopters to the area already to evacuate the, the casualties and the remains of whatever is left of those that were in that vehicle. So, before we go on with any more commentary on this matter, fellow Amazonians, I would like for you to watch with me the video of this incident, and then we will make our commentary after that. Let's watch the
For
video.
our Lord LGA inside Lebialem country, the mothers come, watch and see, sleep, not be die. Like that.
Now, you tell me if there's
Okay.
a possibility of
For
anyone
our
coming
Lord
out of that
LGA
vehicle.
inside Lebialem country, the mothers come, watch and see, sleep, not be die. Like that. Okay.
Yes, the Red Dragons are very much a very potent force in Amazonia. The Red Dragons are very much
All man
alive.
for day, it don't finish. La Republic, una ceasefire. No way for una. When we don't declare ghost town, many man obey the order. Now our land be this. Now our land be this. Watch and see. Minimum focus, minimum stay tuned. You not move for that place.
Okay, those are the images. You can see that is supposed to be an armored car. It's all crumbled up. It's all in pieces. Disturbing, disturbing, I must say. Disturbing to watch. Disturbing to watch. I think they said there's one lady that was in the car as well. That is one of the casualties, the Dio, and many others, many others, many others. That is what is happening. And La Republic continues to send these poor people, innocent people, to come and be blown to pieces in Amazonia. They are not listening. They don't want, they've been told to come to the negotiation table and get this matter resolved. But they just will not do it because they believe we are their slaves, we are conquered people. That is what they think. They feel too important to sit down and negotiate. That is the lady that is one of the casualties in that vehicle. We are yet to get the details of her title or responsibility. Why was she in that armored vehicle? Probably riding with the colonial Dio who was also one of the casualties. Well, a lot of people says the war is over. I don't know how they can hide these images now. I don't know how they can hide these images. They say the war is over, everything is back to normal, and that all they are doing now is reconstruction. That is the reconstruction right there. That is the reconstruction. They've been told to come to the negotiation table in Switzerland. They refused to go. They were called to sit down in Canada. They refused to go. And they said everything is back to normal. Well, this is back to normal. So let me get your reactions. Vaping Jenny, I want to get your reaction to this story. It is tragic, it's unfortunate, but this is what happens when you are met with intransigence. They say if you are pushing someone and that person keeps stepping back and stepping back and stepping back, and that person finds himself his back against the wall, there is nowhere else to go but forward, and that person will fight his way forward. And that is where Amazonians find themselves today. We have begged, we have pleaded in every way possible for La Republic to come to the negotiation table, but they have said we are 2 cups of sugar and that they were going to crush us in a glass of water. Well, that's your glass of water right there. That's your 2 cups of sugar. And as I've said, this war will not end until we say until we decide that it will end. If La Republic thinks that they can compare us to continue being their slaves, they are greatly mistaken. Vaping Jenny, I would like
Thank
to
you.
hear what you have to say about this.
Thank you, Comrade Mike. I like to confess that my eyes make me glad to see what I'm seeing. You know, my eyes make me feel happy that I'm seeing what I'm seeing. The saying cannot be overemphasized, like you put. We have the final say about this war. La Republic doesn't have any conclusive word. They have spoken in the past. The Atangaji who has spoken as and is not disappearing or vanishing in the thin air. Many have spoken before him, Cheromas. They spoke, disappeared. He has spoken, he's disappearing. Many will still speak. But the truth is that we have the final say, Ambazonians. This is a level in which we are. And I like the wordings of the one who filmed and sent out this message. It says, sleep, no be die. When you truly sleep, you get good rest. You be renewed. You be refreshed and restored. And when you bounce back, the enemy, we don't think say you don't sleep or you don't die, you go be shocked. This is what is happening, and it's a pity to those who have decided to close their minds and stand with the wicked against their own people, against their own land, against their own
Lebialem
country.
the mothers.
Yeah, and this one be a loud message where the wordings be clear, the language be so clear for everybody. If you want to serve the wicked master, you go die the death of a fool. The question you're asking here about that young girl, we be in that ammo car. When investigation only proves be an enabler trying to point the way through for lead them through to some
Okay.
other direction. Yeah, no matter whatever the message will come, go around, come. The simple truth I say, it will be there as one of the eyes and with the serve the cause of direction against the own people and against your own homeland for the wicked master for continue of glory, even against your own life. And we think say the message don't go. It don't go right through and it still go viral. Why will they talk here? So that those who in the field hear me, they hear. Those who want the one for persist for move on, they go like a stubborn fly, go enter the grave with the corpse. I feel talk like Honorable Thomas talk from the beginning. Call those to our Amazonian restoration fighters, the Red Dragons. I think it's a dawn of a new day and a better day than ever before. Whatever history has registered, they are they have risen to a level where there will be greater exploit, and we can see this as evident. And there's no retreat, there's no surrendering to Rich Boya.
Thank you, Vipin Jenny. As you rightly mentioned there, we are told that the Fontaine Central Dio is one of those that have been killed in this blast. But before we even go there, let me say this. For quite some time, or before our ARFs had mastered this technology that they are now using, I don't want to go calling the name here. Um, we La Republic had felt that once you are in an armor car, you are safe. Um, as Frank, this is your department. What do we have to learn from this experience, or what should La Republic to Cameroon citizens and the enablers who had felt that when you are if you are able to get able to get into an armor car, that you are guaranteed of safety and to go out and point out the camps or the hideouts of our ARFs. What should they take? What's the take-home message to all enablers, blacklegs, and even a lot of people to Cameroon terrorist soldiers? What should they take home from this? That riding in an armor car through Ambazonia is not safe. What do you have to tell them?
Thank you for that question. I hope you can hear me now.
5 on 5.
Okay. So, there is a group of Amazonians that are like the stubborn flies. They hear the truth, they see the truth, they know the truth, but they choose deliberately to believe in lies and to follow people who will lead them into their early graves. We have one message to La République du Cameroon and her enablers and agents. We will never give up. Our independence restoration is non-negotiable. And for anybody who goes close to La République du Cameroon talks and their agents and their enablers, we are monitoring, we are watching, we are, following you. At the right time, you will have to respond to the laws of the land. It's just sad to see a young girl like this one we see here. Out of the 1,001 things that she could be doing to better her life, or she chooses to be moving around with talks who will gang rape her and end up, using her like, some human shield. Look at the way she is, going through a lot of pain there, and there will be nothing like assistance that will be rendered to her hereafter. Our message is clear. Ambazonia belongs to Ambazonia. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Zos Frank, and Honorable Samba Thomas. You see, following up on this question again of enablers hiding in these cars, so-called armored cars. Will it be wrong to call these things now coffins on wheels? Because we have seen these things blown to pieces severally. This it has happened in Lebialem many times. The last time we saw it, the vehicle was actually lifted up. It was lifted off the ground, and the technology that our ARS are using now is so much more potent. And again, I don't know what these enablers think when you take yourself and you are riding in this thing and you know exactly the danger that is out there. You don't know when it's going to happen. You are just like sitting there and just praying that you get through. You don't know when it's going to happen because it eventually will happen. It may not happen the first day, it may not happen the second day, but it will happen and you will pay. You will not even see it coming. You will just see yourself at the gate of hell, not even knowing how you got there. And yet people still choose to put themselves through this risk. For what compensation, Honorable Samatamas? I mean, what goes through the minds of these people when they choose to put themselves in this situation? What goes through their minds? Honorable Samatamas.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me.
Okay, I can hear you now.
La Republic agents have deceived themselves in such a way that one cannot even understand if a normal human being can be telling lies to himself. La Republic is claiming that the war in the southern Cameroon is over. Why is it that their administrators and their soldiers are parading the southern Cameroons in armor cars and bulletproof vests? If there is, if everything has returned to normalcy and there is peace, as they claim, the only thing that these guys are hiding to themselves, you know, there are moments that you will be in the house and a child does something, you ask him or her, you do this thing, he say no, he didn't, I swear to God, I not do am. I swear to God, we don't, if you can show him upside, I swear to God, I don't do am. Does not necessarily mean that he's not guilty of the crime. So these Latvian people, they've become children with, I swear to God, normalcy has returned to the southern Cameroons, but the same, as swear to God, people are moving around in armored cars. There is something that we have to see, that we must watch well in that armored car lying there, because that area is a dusty road. But if you look at that armored tank well, you will find that there is something there like a gravel. I'm afraid that what these guys are transporting from Lebialem is cocoa that they are carrying out. Because our people can no longer carry cocoa from Lebialem and elsewhere in southern Cameroon to Douala for
Okay,
marketing. So
okay.
their soldiers have become agents of transporting cocoa from our areas for marketing in Douala. Look at that truck well and you see what is on the floor.
I
And
can
that must
see.
have been one of the things that observe even all the guys that are there, that you see some steel moving as living corpses. If not for that cocoa, all of them could have perished in that truck with immediate effect. That is what served their asses. But let them continue deceiving themselves that normalcy has returned. As they say, they do not want us to be in peace in the southern Cameroons, that they will maintain their occupation of southern Cameroons. They will never witness peace until the day we will witness justice. Are you?
Yes, yes. You have a keen eye there. You have a keen eye there, Mr. Thomas. Yes, you are very right. There's something down there. It looks like gravel, but we don't think it's gravel. Yeah, and again, back to this thing. These people. I don't know who they are deceiving. I don't know who they are trying to deceiving. Are they deceiving themselves or are they trying to deceive someone else? Comrade Mark, you remember that for quite some time now, we have seen a lot of people to Cameroon do the same thing. They go to like when we tell them there's no celebration of 20th May in our territory again, they go to the grandstand and you find a Dio sitting there with a military helmet, with a bulletproof vest, and you he's sitting there at the grandstand, all suited in gear, and these people are all suited in military gear, but they expect the population to come out and stand there to celebrate 20th May. Of course, our civilians know best not to put themselves in such situations anymore. But you look at these people and you wonder who they are trying to deceive. Who are you trying to deceive? At the grandstand, you find military people sitting, the Joe sitting there with his own protection, and they say they are celebrating 20th May when the people are not there to celebrate it with you. Comrade Mark, who are these people trying to deceive? Are they deceiving themselves, or what do you think they are doing?
Well, I mean, insofar as I'm concerned, I know that those people are here for a mission. They are here to protect the person who sent them to be here. They are the occupying force and they are just carrying out their role.
Yeah.
All those Geos going to the grandstand know what they are doing. They are just fighting for their own share of our resources. And they know that nothing is going to happen. But the question now is, how about the Amazonians who are sellouts? If you find yourself amongst the people who are persecuting us and you are helping them, it is all on you and your generation. This is not limited to those you find in this image, on this image here. It's limited to, it goes to everybody. Some Amazonians, not even Amazonians, some blacklegs, I can now call them slaves. And I am not afraid to call them that way. I'm called them mental slaves. People that are chicken-hearted. People who knows right from wrong. But because they have their selfish means or they are protecting certain things, they don't want to follow us. Even if you don't want to follow us and fight for independence, do not block us or do not stand by our way or do not cause confusion. Because these people who are blocking us, standing on our way and causing confusion are worse than the enemies. Because at the end, they tend to discourage others to fight for our sovereignty. So, I still see some Amazonians, when they look at images like this, they say that, look at what Amber is doing to its citizens. That we are bombing our citizens, we are doing what to our citizens. That look at this poor woman, the military is instead helping people. Let us repeat what we have been saying. Either you are with us or you are against us.
That's it.
There's no negotiation. La Republique has taken that stand that either you are with La Republique or you are with Amber. And we have also taken our stand. Either you are with us for a free Amazonia or you are a federalist La Republican citizen. That's our stand we have taken. So if you are dining with the military, you are working with the military, you are doing everything thinking that the military is protecting you, you are just prolonging the inevitable. Your day is coming. So please, our fellow countrymen Amazonians, we should try as much as possible to follow what our restoration forces are doing. We should desist from helping the enemy. Because when you help the enemy, you find yourself in the wrong side of history. You better stay quiet because there is no pity for anybody who decides to dine with the enemy. No pity for you. And those who are helping them, those who are in our fora, helping them, giving contrary messages, thinking that they are safe. 99 days for a thief, 1 day for the owner. Your own day is coming. This is a quest for restoration. And know that it is an idea, and it's not a wrong idea. It's our choosing right, it's our destiny. We are going to have it. If you think that this war has ended, you are wasting your time, because those young kids who have lost their parents are our future fighters. Mark my words. This thing will never end until we have independence.
Thank you. Thank you for making it very clear to the naysayers, the blacklegs, the neighbors out there. I hope they got the message that you just gave there. And to comment on what you just said there about some people always coming out looking for some excuse to blame Amazonians for this struggle, for this war. We never declared any war. Paul Biya declared this war. It is on him to call it off. It is on him to call it off. You remember just a few months ago, they were supposed to sit down with us. It was in Canada, and they said no. They never sent anyone. They never sent Canada to engage in any negotiations with us. So they are the ones not willing to end this war, not us. Now, these people who always want to point fingers, when Ngabo happened, when they slaughtered our civilians and buried them in a mass grave, you never hear these people come out to condemn it. Such enablers will stay mute. They won't say anything, including the so-called clergy. When little girls are shot in the head on their way to school, they never come out to say anything. They never come out to say anything. When Moja Moja kills our civilians, puts their bodies on the street and desecrates those bodies by standing on them, they never say anything. All these things happen, those people never say anything. They are just looking for one little thing. And they come out and say, oh, Amber has done this, Amber has done that. But the atrocities that La Republica has committed against our people, including intentional, just committing acts of arson on total villages, including hospitals, they never say anything. They don't see anything wrong with that. So we are not concerned. We don't even care about what these people say anymore, because they're all hypocrites. Now, SOS Frank, we are told that the deal for Fontaine is one of those alleged to have been killed in this blast. Can you tell us more information about this detail? Is it true that the colonial deal for Fontaine was one of those that have been killed in this blast? SOS Frank.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. As for the details of that operation, we are still gathering information. We want to bring very credible information to our people all the time,
Okay.
so that we don't have to say things that may not be verifiable. One thing I would assure Amazonians and our tele viewers is that it was a very successful mission, and I think it has sent shockwaves down the spines of La République du Cameroon. And this is just the beginning. The days ahead are coming. We have 1st of October coming. La République du Cameroon is the only nation that chooses not to celebrate their Independence Day. We, as Ambazonians, we will proudly celebrate our Independence Day, and we will do so with some frogs being sent to Ekemalan. That is
Yeah.
what we will do, and we know exactly how to go about that. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chairman Frank. And to you, VP Jenny. We have seen a wave of uprisings amongst the military, various militaries of several countries in Africa, where they feel like the politicians, sit tight politicians, are making them suffer, are making the citizens suffer. I mean, we have seen how Bob here has been in power for more than 40 years now. The country is going down the drain. And these people, these Republic Cameroon's so-called soldiers, are being blown to pieces every day in Ambazonia. Vipinjin, what will it take for the military of La Republique du Cameroon to rise up and take down their own sit-tight, corrupt dictators who are sending them to their early graves in numbers? What will it take this La Republique du Cameroon military to rise up and emulate what their colleagues are doing through the Sahel and now even in Gabon? I mean, what Kool-Aid are these people drinking that they cannot shake it off and do something to save themselves from this imposed demise of being blown to pieces every day in Amazonia? And I don't know if they think it's going to end tomorrow or when. I just
Yeah,
want I just want I don't know if you can even think like them, but what do you think goes through their minds?
Comrade Mike, thank you. I think your question is very pertinent. And this question is not only on your mind, it is on the minds of many, many people asking, because a lot of people have understood or are aware of the wind of decolonization that is blowing through the countries of Africa, everywhere in Africa. That wind is blowing, and it's a wind of reawakening. And every conscious person's eyes who knows about the Republic du Cameroon and what it has been all these years with the frustration of the wicked dictator Paul Biya that is drowning the nation hopelessly and into a horrible end. They are waiting for to see that what has happened in Niger, in Niger, like it happened in Mali, it happened in Burkina Faso, and it's happening in other places, should happen now in La Republique du Cameroon. I am one of the people, and I know this is what is supposed to be done. But the question is that you ask, what will it take the people to the military or the army, who are, when you see them in the zeal, like the case today in the county of Lebialem in Amazonia, you understand that these people are not only driven with drunken zeal for a wicked master, but are really foolish to themselves, because you see they are struggling to jack up the ammo card has been torn apart and upside down place, even lying on some corpse already. And what is happening, what they are trying to do to remove the corpse, is what they will be, others will be doing for them, because it has happened like repeatedly. And no conscious army will keep going the way they are going, risking their lives, risking the lives of their own family, and dying helplessly. You know, this wind is blowing and will blow through. Why Amazonia is gone, Africa is like a time and no dawn over Africa. I remember a few years, I read through the
Okay,
wordings
Bong,
of
today.
I read through the wordings of former British Prime Minister Harold Macmillan when he visited South Africa in the 60s or 1960, I think about February 1960. It is said he had mingled through visiting some British colonies for over a month. And when he had that opportunity in February 1960 to address the South African Parliament with regards to what they were going through, the fight and the struggle for their own liberation, he said categorically in his words that have not been forgotten, they have been re-amplified through the years, that the wind of change was blowing through Africa, the continent of Africa. And without the politicians of the world who are like backing dogs and can't do anything, or numbed in their senses and inability to do anything, whether they like it or not, it will blow through. And he tried to canalize this wind, which the La Republique and the army and all who think well and hope for a future that will rescue their children must know and stand up for. You see, it was a win, you know, with strength of nationalism that was bringing consciousness to the people of Africa. It was a win which was stirring the zeal of the people to stand up for their right and to secure their future before it is dampened. And this is the truth. When you mingle to the cities of La République du Cameroon at 6 a.m. in the morning, to those who know and to those who have been around, you will discover that people are already drinking. And among them, army people or the military people in uniform, and they sit there in bars drinking till late in the night and they start up with it. Now, it takes just a few to the countries that have already succeeded in their cause and the military taking over in Africa. It takes a few. It doesn't take the majority. It takes a few who come to their consciousness and say, enough is enough. I can't stand this anymore. This uniform I took upon myself was not for myself, was not only for my family, was for the nation, to rescue the nation. And if I don't defend it till I die, I am risking my life. I'm risking the future of my generation. And those who know about me, who stood for the nation, will never forgive me. And they take a strategy and follow through to be able to dethrone. The case of La Republic is so rotten and decayed that there is no way any man in the name of a politician can stand in that country and then bring about revival or bring about economic revival, social change or whatever. It is going to be an end of the old, or a sweeping away of the old and all that has been in place, because all the structures and have been so polluted or decayed and destroyed that there is no way for renovation or for mending up. So it takes a few who are going to stand up in the army and say, enough is enough. This thing cannot continue. This man will not continue to sit on this place and bring the gloom or of darkness of our lives and the future while we are sitting here. Should we stay here and die? And then they rise up. And when they do, in their few, the rest whose eyes have been blinded or whose ears have been shut down may come to a consciousness and toe the line, like we see. So the few that have taken place in other countries have not been by the majority, but a few who know what they need to do and to rescue the nation in the patriotic spirit in which they took over or they put on the uniform for. So this is what I think. And I think they are seeing, and the whole world is watching, like I said already.
Digging into that, because I really cannot get is the fact that you find a group of old, mostly very old, corrupt people who have just taken that country hostage. The most corrupt individuals, those with morally bankrupt individuals who have just no regard for the people they are supposed to be leading. I mean, look at the caliber of people who are leading that country now. You have Pobia, who is the chief living ancestor himself. You have the Speaker of the House of their so-called Parliament, Cavaye Jibril. When Cavaye Jibril speaks here, you would think that he is speaking some strange language, because you can hardly understand what he is saying anymore. Then you have the other one, Nyad Jifenji, in the president of the Senate or whatever. He is basically carried around. He's carried around. And that's not the only one. The person that is heading, I think, the Supreme Court or whatever, that person is barely living. He is barely living. And then the rest of them who are younger are crooks, thieves, murderers, rapists, and you name the rest. These are the people leading that country called Cameroon. So, as you rightly said, you cannot fix that country. In order to fix it, you have to start from somewhere. I have said it before and I've said it again. You have to bring the guillotine and select them from director up, select them and send them to face the guillotine. Clean the house, bring new people and put structures in place that will compel them to behave well. You cannot repair. So I don't know, when these military continue to sacrifice themselves for these living ancestors, people who ought to be in the nursing home, some of them who ought to have died. And these young men, 18, 20, 21, 22 years, they go out there and they subject themselves to be blown to pieces. I mean, when are they going to wake up? When really are they going to wake up, Honorable Sama Thomas? I want you to tell me. What are these people thinking? Looking at Paul Biya and those surrounding him, just look at this bunch of crooks and thieves and murderers. Look at the other one who murdered the journalist recently and is hiding somewhere. They say he's in Kondegi. He murdered and mutilated that journalist. He is sitting. These are the kinds of crooks that are supposed to be leading that so-called damn country. And people still have hope. And I ask them, when you look at the future of that Republic of Cameroon, are you hopeful that tomorrow will be better? Do you really, when you really look at these people in charge of the country, can you say that tomorrow will be better than today? Honorable Sama Thomas.
Well, Comrade Mike, what do you want me to say? I wonder because I read a bit of French Revolution, and if you can ask yourself, send French soldiers during the days of Louis the 16th in the 16th century to go and help the Americans during their war against their war of liberation against the British. What did these guys after that war learn from America, and what was their reaction when they returned to France? They said what they went to America to do was not even worth it of what they learned in America. For they learned the art of freedom of individualism, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, liberty, and they brought it back to France, and the monarch of France was toppled. For how long have La Republican citizens who call themselves soldiers been in the southern Cameroons, the land of freedom, where people could express themselves freely without fear or favor? What have they learned? Completely nothing. That is why they keep on behaving the way they are behaving as robots. All they know to do is to terrorize our people, take money from us to go and drink 3 export. I wonder if you watch the pictures that were out from La Republique when they said Paul Biya did a cabinet reshufflement just within the military rank and file. That type of an army or security sector in La Republique, that is an elitist army or security. What are you expecting? They will fight and die to protect their master so as to be at the helm of things. They will never learn anything. The freedom does not exist. For freedom to these people is freedom. Ranks any other person that is not rights are trampled upon is right for them to do same. That is why France is still in Africa, thinking that the colonial era is still to be implemented till today. They will not leave, for Africa is their fiefdom, and they can choose to do whatever they want to do in Africa without being questioned. That is exactly what La Republique is perpetrating in the Southern Cameroons. But that is their graveyard. If they will
Yes.
not leave, I promise them that is their graveyard. For they refuse to learn anything, and a fly that refuses to hear "get away from this place," or a chicken, it will hear "bam." They are getting back on. They are going getting back on sacks. Soon they will not be flown back or taken back to their places in bags, but they will be buried or abandoned on the streets of Southern Cameroon for dogs to eat them, for they will never learn anything.
Uh, um, um, uh, Comrade Mark, I want you. When we look at the fact that when FMA was betrayed, I say he was betrayed and killed. There was euphoria in La Republique of Cameroon that, oh, at last, the war is over. That the great FMA, if he is down, then there's no way Ambazonia can ever win this war again. Now, I want to ask you, what should La Republique learn from this incident today? I think they, because for so long they have always hoped that once a great general is taken out, that will be all. But over and over and over again, it has been proven that taking out even one great general in Ambazonia does not mean that the war will end, because there's always someone who will step in and fill that position. Because when the general is in operation, whatever he is doing is being passed on to those his close commanders who are working with him. So the fact that you take him out doesn't mean anything, because the knowledge has already been passed. So my question to you is this: FMA is no more, but this is Lebialem still boiling. This is Lebialem doing what Lebialem knows how to do best, and that is to be the the burial ground for La Republic Cameroon invading soldiers. It continues to be the case, as has been for a long time. So, I mean, I want you to say in your own words, what should the message be to La Republic Cameroon soldiers when they choose to enter the BLM or anywhere in Ambazonia for that matter?
Okay, I mean, before I go to the message of La Republic soldiers, it is a very sad thing that we have lost so many generals. And is that most of our fighters died in a way that they were not supposed to. The death of most of our fighters was in a way that we could have prevented it, but we still fell for it. But anyway, it's a learning experience, and nobody taught us how to fight. Nobody, we did not declare war upon ourselves. They declared the war upon us. So going forward, I would like each and every Ambazonia to respect our fighters and help them. Help them by letting them respect hierarchy and letting them fight the fight in the way we are supposed to fight. Not helping them by trying to exercise your power through them. Because most of our fighters has lost their lives, not because of the bravery of La Republique, but because of some of us who are trying to exercise our power through them. Back to your question. La République du Cameroon has learned nothing from this, and they will learn nothing from this. It is part of their policy, and I believe their main policy is that they are going to fight like this, and with time, we are going to be tired. The war is not going to die its natural death. What they don't know is that we are never going to be tired, and we are fighting for our survival. We are fighting for our God-given right. We are never going to give up. So anybody who is in support of La République or who thinks that we are going to be tired midway and give up is wasting their time. Just like La République du Cameroon, they think that the time that our restoration fighters are laying low and coming out with new strategies is the period where the struggle or our quest for independence is dying down. They don't know. We will continue to fight like that and until we get our independence. So La Republic has learned practically nothing from this. It is part of their strategy, I believe, to continue fighting and lying to their army that they can win this war and manage the situation while showing the international community that things are returning to normal. So for them now, things is normal for them, but they are trying to show another face to the international community. So they have learned nothing from it.
Yeah, SOS Frank, SOS Frank. You see, when you look at the blast, when you saw the blast, you look at that hill, up the hill there, you can see the mud going right up the hill on that cliff. That's the side of that cliff there. That the mud went right up there. It shows the potency of the blast. We know that FMA was an engineer. He wasn't just a soldier; he was an engineer. He produced a lot of his own tools that he was using, and Before passing, he had already passed this technology over to his commanders and lieutenants. And I think they are just carrying out, going ahead with the knowledge that he passed on to them, which is what we are saying here, that taking out FMA, a lot of people may have thought that, oh, the game was over. No, it was already too late. The genie has already escaped from the bottle. You cannot put it back into the bottle. It's already out, and it will stay out for as long as Ambazonian's independence is not yet secured. So again,
For our Lord
FMS
LG inside the
legacy
BLM country.
has been restored. His legacy has been restored. People are still able to see what he started doing, and the boys he had trained are replicating exactly what he taught them, and they are doing it with precision, exactitude, and the magnitude has even been amplified. It has been amplified. So I just want you to comment on this, as well as Frank. I mean, it's impressive. But just look at the timing. The timing is just exact at the right time. Not a second early or late. What can you say about this new technology that the Ambazonian ARFs now control? I don't know if SOS Frank is there. I can't hear you.
When we
SOS
don't
Frank is not there.
declare ghost town,
Maybe VP Engineer can take that. When you look at the precision of this attack and the potency of it, what can you say about the skill level of our ARFs at this given moment?
You know, when I first saw this video and I had the word, I made mention. I said my eyes makes me feel happy for what I'm seeing. This shows that Amazonians restoration fighters have been evolving very fast. Like you said, FMA was not just a fighter, a warrior, but he was an engineer and had left in place a good structure. And what he did, or what he was able to do, he also transmitted the technology to those he left behind, who have been able to manage it and then come up. Now we've seen pictures in the past of pieces of armor cars that were destroyed and left behind. You know, but we have not seen the explosive act like the one we have seen here in exactitude, not before, not after. And this shows that the Red Dragons now are able to do and to do better, showing meaning the fulfillment of the effort and sacrifices of field marshal can grow into high, grow high. And it's a big encouragement to both our fighters and to Ambazonians back home and everywhere they are, to know that while we have come to this point, it's a warning. I want to say we got these images from our restoration fighters sent out. Yet La Republic, the guys who were there, you see how some of them were helpless, who came from other supporting armor cars to want to rescue. You could see how helpless they were, but others were also filming it to send out to their colleagues to know what's happening. So it's a desperation in them. It's a message of frustration to them, yet it's a message of fulfillment to Ambazonians and to the restoration fighters. And the good thing, which is a message to La Republic and to all their neighbors, is that our restoration fighters have united their minds and united their zeal to be able to make this happen everywhere in the southern Cameroons, in the 13 counties. So what we're seeing in Lebialem is what certainly we are going to see in other places with precision. You know, like you made mention, we cannot be talking about the details of that technology here because La Republic is following us. Even the agents are following us to want to find out what next in place. But those are things that chairman, the SOS for defense cannot even talk about here because they are in-house. You know, we have come to the point where they will not be hearing, but they will be seeing. And this is evident. More of the videos will come up. And it is also a message to the international community to know that Amazonians have risen not to fall. And they are determined not to give up anywhere, not anytime sooner, but to prevail for their freedom. And if they want to keep watching, they will watch to see how we bring down La Republic, why we must triumph for our freedom.
Thank you, Vipin. This must be a great moral booster to the rest of our RFs when they see this and they can take from it and know that they can replicate the same example and go ahead. Honorable Sama Thomas, we know that La Republic for all this time has been drumming even this back to school nonsense that they are doing here. They are aiming for September at the United Nations to go and say, you see, everything is back to normal. We have defeated the terrorists, as they like to call us, and everything is back to normal. There's no war going on. I think I listened to this. I listened to this enabler in Germany who calls himself Padia Sanga or whatever. He was saying, "Oh, the war is over." Padia Sanga, I got news for you, buddy. I got news for you. Watch this video here and tell me if the war is over. You see, so that is what their campaign has been all about. To go and say the war is over. We just want everything to go back to normal. Don't listen to anything. There's no war. There's nothing like. But okay, these images you cannot hide. These images cannot hide, and this is not it. There's more to come. I can assure you. There's more to come. So, what message do you have for La Republic Cameroon and the international community that if they are being La Republic comes singing that nonsense that there's no war, what can we tell them?
Comrade Mike, you know, about 20 years ago, we were on the CNN, BBC, RFE, Radio France International, and Radio Vatican for news. But today, even someone on journalism holding just his phone in his hands is already a journalist. I laughed
Yep.
out my lungs before this program started when this guy of Equinox went to Kumba that he wanted to cover the school return back in Kumba. He combed the nooks and crannies of Kumba inside the villages. Not even a fly was passing by. He said, okay, let me go back to the city to see if schools are going. But in the city, not even a single bike, not even a single bike was on the street. All offices, even government offices, were locked. He himself was calling by peoples. So I was laughing. They say schools have returned to everything has returned to normalcy, but not even an ant. He said if you drop 100 francs, even on a dusty road, you will hear how it drops. You will hear a sound from that 100 francs on a dusty road, not on the tar. Let La Republic keep on pretending that everything has returned to normalcy and their schools will open. What I regret in all these things is that our people are not learning anything. I heard lot of elements, two teachers in Boyo. But the question is, must I sacrifice my life in the name of getting a salary? Every teacher in the Southern Cameroon must ask himself that his or herself that question: must I sacrifice my life because of a salary? Without that salary, can you not still survive? Don't your parents have farm for you to farm crops there and eat?
That
Can't
is
you?
that is not. I don't even think that is the issue there, Mr. Thomas, because if when they say don't go, if all of you don't go, nobody will get penalized. No, they cannot fire everybody. That is what they fail to understand. They cannot fire everybody.
Mike,
It is when some people, the black legs, want to show that they are the good ones, and they go in and they get victimized. That is the problem.
let us even accept that everybody can be fired. Can all of you fired? Not now say, okay, because I have a profession and have been fired by the occupational system, let me now exercise that my profession by opening even the room I'm sitting inside as a classroom to teach one or two, three, four children. Will you not still survive? And will you not still maintain your profession as a teacher by teaching these four children? Must you only go in an official school, public school, before you be known as a teacher? Comrade Mike, I have taught children, though not being a student myself, but I've taught children in my own house who have succeeded in their exams. Am I a teacher? So why should people think that you must be a teacher sitting in a classroom before you can teach another person? That is a lie. I will never accept that myth. First of all, what I was saying is that La Republic has used this tactic to be killing our people under the pretense that they are killed by our ARFs. So you teachers who want to sacrifice your lives because of salary, the same person that is calling you to go to school and work is the same person that is waiting for you there to kill you. Go there and lose your life. When that is done, only you and your family will mourn for you, and they will never bring you for life because you want to go and defend a salary which I don't even know how much that salary is. You guys are cowards. It is said that if you don't sacrifice something, you cannot get anything. You guys have refused to sacrifice your profession, as you claim is a profession, for at the detriment of yourself and the freedom of your people. You guys are enabling this occupational system. As such, the same occupational system will take all of you out.
Thank
Indeed,
you.
cowards,
Let
Honorable Thomas. Very, very big cowards, because the message that the colonial mayor gave to them was that there is enough guarantee of security for their coming and for their going. Everything has been put in place on their way to come for the meeting and on their way to go back or during the meeting. And these guys end up losing their lives. Now, this is a message. When you speak the way you speak, some people think, oh, you are insulting people, but this is the truth. How long do we have to indulge in this kind of foolishness? Now, you see somebody who has been intoxicated. You mentioned about salary. What kind of salary do they pay them there? You mentioned, you asked the question, do their parents not have farms where they can farm up and then get what to live on? If people have come to their knowledge to understand that this La Republique and all the philosophy of all that is about their gene and their blood and life is wickedness, and there is nothing to write home with, they will be committed committed to work in their own farms, and then the produce that they will have will be more than enough to eat and then to sell and have benefits more than anything called a salary from that damn country called La Republique of Cameroon. Ask everyone who is, in fact, it's a pity. How long will have you come to learn of these things and then come home or stand up for their right?
and that is the tragedy of the so-called educational system that we have in that damn country, because they train people to come out and be dependent on the government for a job. They don't train you to come out and be creative enough to create your own employment. And that is why we have to do away because the educational system is just the educational curriculum is completely a cake. It was meant for 100 years ago. It is not applicable in today's world. So we need to scrap that thing and put in place a curriculum that is commensurate with today's demands. So it is just tragic, you know. You come out of school, you start looking for a job. Either you are a teacher, you are a nurse, or the same old profession. There's no change. There's no change, and that has to change. Now, In order, let me just ask this last question and we can transition from this topic. When we look at these images here, we look at this. I don't know where they got these boys to come and help to lift the vehicle. You can see there are people under that vehicle, but
They were
you
harassed from
can
the gutters.
imagine the weight of that vehicle. Imagine the weight of that vehicle. Those boys are standing there with empty hands, no equipment. There is no way they can lift that thing. Just the tire of that vehicle alone weighs maybe 1,000 pounds. So how are they going to get that thing lifted up enough to get those from under it? So my question to you, Comrade Mark, is this: is La Republic now suffering from its own negligence? For so long, they have refused to maintain our roads. There is no, they don't have any equipment. In a decent country, you would have had a vehicle drive in with a crane and simply hook that thing up, lift it up, and they can pick the people under it and move on. How are they going to get a crane, a vehicle with a crane? Do they even have one? Even if they have one, how are they going to get it through the bad roads to that spot where they can pick that thing up? They are now,
Comrade Mike,
they are, they
Mike,
are not,
you
they
are
are
making
not
a mistake.
tasting
You
what they
are
have
calling
been
some
cooking.
poor boys. These are children below 15 and below 16 and 15.
Yeah,
They are
and
not boys to come and lift this
they
thing
are
up.
expecting this boy to lift that vehicle up. How are they supposed to do that? How are they supposed to do that? You see, they themselves are standing there now completely helpless of their own doing. Comrade Mark, what's your take on
Yes,
this experience?
and tomorrow, look at the boys very well, the young kids very well. Tomorrow, in and oh, after 5 months, these hoodlums are gonna kill those boys and call them terrorists.
Mm-hmm.
The same little kids that are helping, they will kill them, plant weapons on them, and call them terrorists. So, what has been going on is that La République du Cameroon were not building our roads, they were diverting our projects, like that of the Limbe Seaport to, to Kribi, and doing all of these things, eating our monies, getting our resources, thinking that they were helping themselves. But little did they know that that will turn back and bite them one day. So that's what is happening. So they are confused. They don't know what to do. That's why they are using these boys to help them. And if you watch closely, almost all of their equipments, which are all outdated equipments from France or from Russia, because Russia is now giving them equipment. All those old equipments, they will not survive in that land. Give it 5 more years, all of them will be obsolete and they'll go away. And we are talking about schools. I cannot end this segment without asking all of us some questions because we're talking about school resumption. But why did this fight really start in 2016 in the first place? Was it not about the schools? People who want to sell us for pennies. We started this war because of schools. We started this thing because they took French teachers and sent to our schools to come and teach our children in a language that we do not even understand. We started this because our teachers' unions were protesting against the infiltration of our schools by French citizens. We started this because our GC board, our main exam system, was controlled by La République. We started this because our education, our heritage was being trampled upon. But 7 years into it, it has gotten worse. It has gotten worse because the GC board has been totally transferred to be controlled by Yaoundé. Our teachers have no say. I don't even want to talk about the lawyers because we are talking about school resumption now. So those who are talking about schools and crying that we are preventing our kids from going to school, What has happened? What have they said to La Republique? Is it that they are talking to us because they can attack us without consequences? Or is it that they are talking to us because they are afraid of La Republique? So I want every Ambazonian, everybody, especially the federalists, to reflect what change has La Republique government implemented for schools to go on smoothly? What change have they brought forward to salvage the situation, our cries and worries of 2016 before this thing came out this way? And we are talking about schools. So let's have that reflection.
Standing by that vehicle. I don't know if we can have that picture again. One of those boys standing next to that vehicle. That this one right here, the one with the stained shirt. You see him, the stained shirt and the boots. That's the famous enabler, Bertus. Bertus, you remember him? That is one of the famous enablers from the Blacklegs. I mean, from Lebialem, who is hiding now in the Western Province. That's him with the stained shirt. So he may have been lucky to have been in the other vehicle. That's him. This Bertus right here. He may have been lucky to have been in the other vehicle. So our message to Bertus is this: you may have been lucky today to have been in a different vehicle, but the next time you will not be that lucky. Continue. Keep on entering those armor cars to go and betray your own brothers. Look at him there. Look at him. That's a black leg right there. That's Bertus. He will not be lucky next time. Let him keep coming. Let him keep coming. The next time you will not be that lucky. It will be your own turn. So that is him. You see, these are the people. That's him. You see his face. These are the same people who went and betrayed FMA to be killed, and the others. He's the one standing there. That's him. He was going out to betray other people again to be killed, and they have met their demise. Nonsense. And the next time he too will be the one lying under that vehicle. Let him continue going. So let us move on to. We're almost going up to the end of the show. I just want us to talk briefly about this school policy, which was explained by the interim government that for reasons of making sure that our children do not just stay without education, that we are allowing community schools and private schools to go on, but making sure that they are not following La Republique du Cameroon, the La Republique du Cameroon system, which was meant to brainwash us, to teach us useless stuff that will not help us to be able to be self-sufficient, and that we need to make sure we keep their teachers out of our classrooms. But it has come to our knowledge that even some of these private schools are beginning to take advantage of our citizens who are now flocking their doors for admissions. And instead of welcoming it as a good thing for them that they now have more students to enroll in their schools, they are jacking up the school fees and exploiting our poor parents who are already facing enormous hardships and trying to take advantage of a situation where they ought to be more understanding that because of the policy that has been implemented by by Ambazonia, they now have more opportunities of enrolling more students that are coming off away from these colonial institutions that La Republique used to run. So this interim government is sending out a warning to the owners of these private and community schools. Make sure to treat our uh, our parents and our students, our children fairly, not jacking up prices above levels that have never been charged before. Because in the days ahead, this interim government will be conducting investigations to see the rate of increase in school fees as compared to previous years. And we'll be reaching out to the proprietors to find out from them for them to explain the rationale for the increases that they have put in place in school fees, which are causing enormous hardship on our people. So I would like VP Engineer to make a statement about this, do some more explanation as to the rationale behind this policy. I know some have said, oh, we should just ban everything, but we have to be empathic. We have to be empathic about the education of our people, and do things that are attainable. Do things that are attainable. It's not enough to just make a policy when you can't enforce it. So let's do things that are attainable. VP Engineer, I would like you to come in here and give some more information about this school policy.
Thank you very much, Comrade Mike. We have taken a stand about this, and whatever information has come up this year has been a follow up of the stand of the IG that we don't want La Republic schools anywhere in Amazonia to operate. Their produce, educational produce, have not been of any help to anyone, and we don't want to continue in that deception. So we want to bring forward our own educational system that we will be able to train our people for productivity and to stand the test of what education means. And that is why we encourage community schools wherever it is possible in the 13 counties of the Southern Cameroons, in the local government areas. And we are grateful to those who were able to meet it up at different levels. And so we are encouraging that as much as it is possible, we maintain that. And in private schools that are there, we don't want anything called a government school or a public school operating in Amazonia. So, and to every parent and to every child that want to take risk, because like you see, these enablers in this Amoka, some have been victimized, and compromised, in other words, or sent to meet a Kema. When you want to stand in to show your passion for the Republic, you are going to die the death and they will still go on their lives in their own country. Now, and so we want to encourage, the message has been given out already. We think proprietors of the different schools, private schools, mission schools in Amazonians have heard. Let them not take advantage of the wickedness of the Republic for this war to traumatize our people, by racing or exhibiting the fees and whatever will be required for our children, our parents to stand through with the little effort they have to contribute in this war we are going through. And the call has been given to parents as well as to the students and the people who are involved in schools. Any proprietor of any private school or mission school that wants to, is imposing some amount of fee that is not really normal, make sure you report it. Connect to us and let us know. We have decided to do verification or investigation about that and also reach out to the schools, because it's not just about a talk, it's about putting a structure in place and a system in place that is will be helpful to everybody, both to the parents and to us, or to the children we have, to secure the future in our land. So it's a big challenge. We have heard about ghost town already going on. We are aware of the ghost town going on, and we don't want anybody to risk their lives. Why?
No.
You don't risk your life in any public school within our land. Don't be foolish and be exposed to the danger of the season, because La Republic enablers and army also take advantage of the situation, and they want to wipe away innocent lives as much as possible, especially when they are frustrated the way they do. They land on the helpless civilians. So don't be one and don't be a victim in season. We think
Okay. I think that is pretty much clear. I don't think we need any more explanation about that. Just be conscious. Take your security is paramount. If there's a lockdown, we are not encouraging you to go out violating, putting yourself at risk of getting hurt. We are not encouraging that. But make sure that you only enroll your children in community schools, private schools, and if you should have any information about some proprietors taking advantage of vulnerable parents. Please send that information to us. We will shine a light on those schools. We will shine a light on those schools. If you have any complaints of any proprietors taking advantage of our poor parents and students, let us have that information. And we will shine a light on them. We will reach out to them and give them an opportunity to explain why they are doing what they are doing. We cannot allow people to take advantage of vulnerable people because, I mean, look at salary scales back in that damn country. If a person is earning maybe 100,000 colonial francs and his school fees is 300, 400, 500,000 francs, and you have one, two, three children, how are you supposed to have the money to pay all that school fees? So people have to be considerate and not take advantage of a desperate situation to further exploit our people. Now, I have
Yes,
just something that you wanted to say something.
yes. Can I add something?
Okay,
Yes,
go ahead, please.
this issue of fees should be taken seriously
Yes.
because these proprietors can skyrocket those fees very fast. Even 5,000 francs CFA that will be added to the fees will be so high. So now, this should be a serious warning to the proprietors because they should not be penny wise and pound foolish. Because if you have 10 more students being admitted to your school, you have more money. Because the space and the classroom, the space, the desk that the students sit are already there. So you already have more money. So if you are trying to increase the fees with more students, then you are not even supposed to add the number of teachers. You are being greedy. And it's gonna blow up on you. So this warning should be a very serious warning to them because first and foremost, it's also a help to them to improve on themselves and to improve on the life of their teachers. Because if you have 10 or 20 more students, you have more money to work on. So they should take that seriously. They should not be caught trying to manipulate our poor population because they should even be taking the fees down because they will be having an influx into the governments into the private schools.
That is exactly what I was about to say. Remark. That's what I was about to say. That on the contrary, with more students coming in, these proprietors are supposed to bring the tuition down. Because, for example, if you had a classroom that had 20 students and now you have 40 students, you are still paying the same teacher. It's still the same classroom. You have really not spent anything that much to have those extra 20 students, except you are saying that you have to go and create another classroom for just 20 more students, which back home you don't do that. They don't do that. So you are supposed to even bring down the cost of the tuition because you have more students coming in, not raise the students, not raise the fee instead, or go into fee hikes to take advantage of vulnerable people just because you see that they are desperate. So we'll be watching this situation very closely. We're watching this situation very closely, and we'll shine the light on those who are trying to be exploitatory on our people. So just one little thing again before we close the show. We have also seen a lot of coups around Africa recently. We will not comment on the actual behavior or responsible parties for these schools, but there is something that I would love for those who have been responsible for these schools to do. Because when they come in, they sound very good. They make good speeches, but oftentimes it is a follow up or after the coup that or what they do after the coup that is not commensurate with the intentions that were expressed at the time of the commission of the coup. So and one other thing that I would like for them to do also is this: I hope that they live up to the promises that they are making now, that they will be able to live up to the promises, the hopes that they are giving the people now. That this is what we're going to do, this is what we're going to do. We hope that do exactly what they have promised to do. And secondly, the one thing that these school leaders must do if they truly want to demonstrate that they want to save their people from the dominance of especially the French. I will single out the French, especially the French. If these school leaders want to show that they are truly for their people, they must do everything to do away with the franc CFA. They must do everything to do away with the franc CFA. Whatever else they do, if they are not able to do away with the franc CFA, the benefits of them coming to power will be very much reduced. Because the CFA is the head of the snake. When it comes to France and its very evil intentions on Africa, the CFA is the yoke that France has put around the necks of African countries. It is the pipe by which the resources are swindled from Africa. So every leader that comes to power and is claiming to do the right thing for his people, do away with the franc CFA. That's the message I want. I could not end this show without, because again, the CFA is the head of the snake. The body of the snake is France. The head is that franc CFA. That is what has enabled France to continue to extort Africa. Besides the resources, the franc CFA gives France 500 billions every year. 500 billions. That's a lot of money. These leaders must do everything possible to eradicate the franc CFA. You saw how when the ECOWAS countries came together to put in place the ECO, France fought and fought and fought until this enabler in Ivory Coast, Ouattara, was the one that sabotaged that initiative, and the ECO is not in circulation today because of that. Because France knows why. They know what they are getting from imposing this worthless piece of paper called the franc CFA on African countries when they themselves had stopped using the French franc so many years ago. But they have continued to impose this useless currency on Africa. So that is my message to all these cool leaders. If you want really to save your people, do everything possible to cut off any links with the franc CFA. And I would like each of you, starting with you, Honorable Sama Thomas, to, I don't know if you want to comment on this before we end the show. What is your take? Am I wrong to say this?
You are on point. But let me say this. Had it been I was part of the military in all these countries that is staging a coup d'etat against the French system in all African countries, the very first thing I would have done is I will not even declare myself Mr. President or installed as president. I will constitute a civilian transitional system and give them a responsibility of coming up with a constitution for the nation that will keep out foreigners that are intruding into our affairs, while the military supervises and takes care and protect the decision of that council, and also prepare a way for a true democracy to take place in that country. Once that is done, that country will be at peace forever.
Yes.
But if the military, like Professor Lumumba used to say, power is not good for when you are seated in power with all the protocol accorded to you. To leave it again, like Mr. Paul Biya is now seated there, because he knows if he leaves, all that protocol will disappear and he will know what to lose that protocol. Once you are there with all that protocol, to leave and hand over that protocol to another person will be very difficult. So to avoid constitute a transitional council with a mandate of 2 years for the military to supervise their work, and you transform that country to a civilian rule while the military keeps on to protect the territorial integrity of that country and keeping the invaders like France at bay and doing away with the French CFA. That is my advice to those who are staging coups. Coups alone cannot solve the problem, but is
Yes.
what is behind our mind, which is geared to the liberation of our people. That's going to solve the problem. I yield.
Yes, thank you. And to you, VP Jenny. The thing is, it is not just a matter of acquiring power through a coup. It is what you do with the power that is gotten through the coup that will either help or destroy your people. It is not just having the power, it is what you do with that power. And I'm saying here that one of the things that I feel these coup leaders ought to do is make sure that they sever ties with France, especially with their so-called franc CFA currency. Because this franc CFA currency, if you understand how much money is being lost by these, I think 14 African countries that are using the CFA, if you know how much money leaves this zone into the French treasury each year, it is mind blowing. So these school leaders, I'm saying to them, if you love your people, first of all, like Honorable Sama Thomas has done, prepare the groundwork for genuine elections, hand over to a civilian government, but make sure you have oversight on their conduct. Put a check on the leaders, making sure they are doing the right thing by the people, but making sure you hand over and sever ties with France. France must leave Africa alone. France must leave Africa alone. They are making the right statements, but they need to follow through and do the right thing. What do you say about that, Bipin Juni? I can't hear you. I don't know if you're speaking. Hello? Bipin Juni, are you there? Bipin Juni, can you hear me? It seems
I can
Bipin
see
Juni is
VP
not getting
Jimmy, but it
me.
seems his internet has a problem.
Okay. Vipin Chini, can you hear me? If not, Comrade Mark, you can take that question.
Okay, as pertain to France and Africa, you have said it all. That the CFA is the heart of France. If we carry it out, everything is going to be okay as pertain to that end. But the other thing is our mentality. Our mentality, our love for our continent and our love for our country. And for that, the other main thing is the rule of law. Follow law and follow institutions. Because all of these things that have been going on is because people don't want to follow law and people don't want to follow institutions. That's the way forward. We always praise people and we want people to remain as leaders. And when the right is on the wall and when they are weakened, when their power is weakened and they are overthrown, we start blaming others for our problems. If you stay as a leader for more than 2 mandates, 15 years, 14 years, 2 7-year mandates, don't think that you are becoming more powerful. You are becoming less powerful because all your usefulness has already been implemented. That is what is happening in many countries in Africa, and it has also crept into some of our mentalities that we are trying to use it to bring trouble into our struggle. Look at the president of Rwanda. He has been a good guy, he has been a good nationalist, But look at what he's failing to do. He's failing to groom up a leader. He's trying to stay there, and he's trying to convince his people that he's the best leader at this moment for his country. But tomorrow, when he will be overthrown and let go, we will start blaming the West for our problems. When he has been there for a long time, yes, he has been good, but we should try as much as possible to respect institutions, stop manipulating the constitutions. Because in our case, like Ambazonia, we were not even a country yet. We're trying to restore our independence. But we have people burying their head in sand and disrespecting a body that is supposed to be an overseer of all of us, the Restoration Council. The Restoration Council is not one person. It's comprised of a group of people from various regions, which was a good representation in our case. But we disrespect the Restoration Council and we try to have our own thing in quotes and have our own government in quotes because we want to stay in power. We have not even been a full-fledged country yet, but we are trying to implement these things. And the first group of people who will be out there posting these things are those who are calling us cool plotters. They are talking about Guinea. They are talking about things that are happening in Africa. But they forget to reflect that they are staying in power. In Ambazonia, we are still really trying to be one of the best countries in Africa to follow little democracy. They are trying to do the same. So my take home is that in so much as these presidents are coming in, they should try as much as possible to respect the constitution, respect the will of the people. No matter how good you are, when your mandate elapses, leave power. Don't be like Kagame of Rwanda, who is still in power now. Very soon we'll start saying that no, they should leave it for Rwanda. Don't be like Macky Sall of Senegal, who tried to change the constitution, but because of popular uprising, he stepped down and said, "No, I will not run for the next term." So that should be
Okay.
our lesson.
Yes. So with that said, we are coming up to the end of the show. I will just give 1 minute each to each of you to make your closing statements on any of the topics we have discussed, or all of them. Your summary. Just 1 minute each, and we'll call it a day. Before I do that, I want first of all to thank you for taking the time to come on the show today. And again, Bazinia has spoken loud, and we will continue to speak loud about where we are going. So, Vipin Jenny, I know it's late with you there. I would like for you to go first so you can go take some rest. Your closing statement, a minute, please. I don't know, Vipin Jenny may not be able to join us again. I think we're at the end of the show anyway. So why don't you go ahead then, Officer Thomas, your closing statement, and we'll end it here.
Welcome, Mike. It was a pleasure being with you guys today for us to discuss about happenings in the southern Cameroons and around the world. But what I'm going to say is that there is a forum that has been created, which is termed a reconciliatory forum, and I will not want to be on the defensive of defending anybody in the Southern Cameroon struggle. But if people push me to the wall to defend individuals, I'm going to do just that. We should be in that forum with our free minds, knowing that each and every one of us has wronged each other. But what do we do? Must we keep on reminding ourselves of what someone has done to me, or B has done to you, or whatever? If we keep on doing that, then we are not ready for reconciliation. We should bury our hatchets and come to the table of reconciliation with a free mind. That is the only way that we can do to unite our efforts. This is my plea to all Southern Cameroonians.
All right, thank you very much on that message of unity, forgiveness, and reconciliation. I think if there's anything we need now, it is that exactly. We need forgiveness, we need reconciliation, we need to be able to look past our differences and see the bigger picture for Ambazonia in the future. So thank you for that message, Sama Thomas. Again, it was a pleasure having you here on the War Zone on ABS TV. Comrade Mark, your closing statements, please.
Okay, I want to thank you guys for being part of the panel. Thank you, Honorable Sama. Thank you, VP Junior, and thank you, SOS Frank. Thank you for being part of the panel. And I want to also thank every Ambazonian for watching and for staying involved, for not giving up. You guys should know that this thing that we are into is a long way to go, and we have to fight for it. It's not given on a platter of gold. So let's continue fighting, no matter how difficult it is, no matter our shortcomings, our individual financial, family, or other issues, what we go through, we should continue fighting. And please, there are so many fora, as comrades Sama has said, Honorable Sama has said, there are so many fora out there which has a lot of argument. And I really hardly, I see those arguments at times, I just keep quiet. I don't keep quiet because I don't have things to offer or things to argue. I keep quiet because I think that if you make some statements, it can prolong the argument for people to say things that are not right. So please, let's learn to hold certain things within us and let things lay down. And let's learn to be respectful. And let's work for Ambazonia. We are not here for anybody, but for ourselves and our restoration of our case for independence. That's all we are here for. So let's not give up. And I thank you guys for still being involved and helping our fighters back in ground zero. Let's go out on the 1st of October to show them that we are part of them. And if we're down there, we could have been with them. So let's do our own part. Thank you so much again for watching.
Again, thank you, Comrade Mark, for coming on today. It was very nice having you, and with all the ideas that you people have contributed to make this presentation today what it has been. So I thank you all, and I would thank you, our viewers, for sticking by. The numbers were really good. I appreciate it. Let's keep doing it and spreading the message as well. Of course, we saw the images that were presented here today about the demise of the La Republique invaders who went into Lebialem, and they met with what Lebialem is always cooks and ready to dish out to them. So the message we are sending to you, fellow Ambazonians, is this war is still very much on. This war is on. We are not done yet. Those who think who are out there saying the war is over, the war is not over until it's over. Until we say it's over, it won't be over. So we look forward to seeing you on October 1st. All roads lead to Washington, D.C., or wherever you are. You can try to organize your own thing there. But for those who can make it to D.C., it will be great to have you. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it was a pleasure having you here on ABS TV, on this side of the war zone. I will look forward to seeing you again next week. Share the show so others can watch it as well. And as I would like to say, take good care of yourselves and each other. And our ARFs on the ground, shake no day, una cafe a day up, make una hold them tight. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the war zone is out.